From that iconic mansion shootout
Say hello to my little friend!
to the coke that wrecked Pacino's nose, here are 10 weird Scarface facts you probably never knew. You could say Scarface was written under the influence, but not in the way you might think. When Oliver Stone sat down to write Scarface, he wasn't just crafting a story about cocaine, he was trying to escape it. At the time, Stone was deep in his own addiction. He'd seen firsthand how drugs could warp your mind and your life, and that's exactly the energy he poured into Tony Montana's rise and fall.
I have to say drugs hurt me and helped me, and I speak honestly, cocaine was a disaster.
But writing about cocaine while addicted to it, not the best plan. So Stone made a radical decision. He packed his bags and left the US, heading to Paris to write the script in total isolation. No Hollywood distractions, no dealers on speed dial, just him, a typewriter, and the dark spiral of Tony's world. He thought isolation would save him, and it did. While Oliver Stone was battling his demons alone in Paris, someone else was silently unraveling right on set. Before she even said a word, Michelle Pfeiffer's body sparked gossip on the Scarface set.
I already killed a lady who was sitting on the bed who did not look like a lady.
But not all the chatter was good. Critics, media, and even some people on set said she looked too skinny, but that wasn't an accident. That was the point. Elvira was written as a woman drowning in addiction. Emotionally checked out, physically fading, Pfeiffer committed hard to that vision. To get the look, she followed a harsh diet that reportedly included mostly tomato soup and cigarettes.
About me at how thin I was getting. I think I was living on tomato soup and Marlboros.
Can you remember?
Not exactly health food. People thought she had gone too far. Some called her appearance unhealthy or even distracting. But the truth is, Pfeiffer knew exactly what she was doing. She wanted viewers to see the cost of cocaine, not just the glamour. Sometimes the body tells the story louder than words ever could. But if you thought Pfeiffer's transformation was bold, wait until you hear how Scarface broke records just by opening its mouth. Before it became a cult classic, Scarface set a different kind of record. It was the most foul-mouthed film anyone had ever seen. The film drops the F word over 200 times. That's right, more than 200. That averages out to one fuck every minute.
I told you, don't fuck with me! I told you, no fucking kiss!
At the time, no movie had ever dared to go that far, and this wasn't an accident. Screenwriter Oliver Stone and director Brian De Palma wanted the world of Scarface to feel raw, aggressive, and brutally real. Tony Montana wasn't going to say heck or darn it. He was going to talk the way real drug dealers talked, loud, vulgar, and straight from the street. Every F-bomb hit like a bullet. So imagine how the censors reacted when they saw what came with it. Scarface didn't exactly breeze past the censors. When director Brian De Palma first submitted the film to the MPAA, it received an X rating. Not once, but 3 times. The violence, the language, the drug use, it all pushed the limits of what was acceptable in 1983. De Palma re-edited the movie over and over, trying to meet the board's demands. But after 3 failed attempts, he'd had enough. Instead of cutting more scenes, he took a bold step. He submitted the original uncut version for the 4th review and didn't tell them. Miraculously, it passed. The MPAA finally gave it an R rating, possibly assuming it was one of the previous toned-down versions. De Palma got what he wanted, and the unfiltered Scarface hit theaters just as he intended. The uncut version made it to theaters. Barely. Then came the scene that made people flinch, squirm, and question if it was even legal to show. The motel chainsaw scene in Scarface is one of the most disturbing sequences ever put on film. And it wasn't just movie magic. That whole idea, it came from a real DEA case. While writing the script, Oliver Stone spent time with Drug Enforcement Administration agents, gathering stories from the front lines of the drug war. One detail stuck with him: a brutal cartel execution involving a chainsaw, carried out inside a Miami apartment. It was the kind of horror you couldn't make up, and Stone didn't. He took that real-life nightmare and worked it straight into Tony Montana's world. It was the kind of violence that left viewers shaken, and it all came from a true story. What followed wasn't any less real, especially for Al Pacino's nose. There's a mountain of cocaine in Scarface, especially in the final act where Tony Montana face plants into a desk piled high with it. But that wasn't real coke, obviously. What Al Pacino was actually snorting? Baby milk powder. Yep, Powdered infant formula, chosen because it looked convincing on camera and was considered safe. But Pacino wasn't just faking snorts. He really inhaled it, take after take, sometimes for hours at a time during long shoot days. And that stuff adds up. After filming, Pacino revealed that all that fake drug use messed up his nose badly. He said, "I don't know what happened to my nose, but it's changed. It irritated his sinuses, dried out his nasal passages, and left him with lingering issues for years." Snorting baby formula might sound harmless until it wrecks your nose for life. And yet, that wasn't even Pacino's most intense commitment to the role. Al Pacino wasn't just playing a Cuban, he was becoming one. To fully lock into the character of Tony Montana, Pacino immersed himself in Cuban culture. He even asked crew members to speak only Spanish around him during filming.
He said, "Only speak Spanish to me once we start the movie."
Why? So he could soak up the sound, the slang, the swagger, and it paid off big time. One of the best examples? The word yayo.
Yeah. And I got the yayo.
That iconic slang for cocaine wasn't in the original script. Pacino picked it up while researching the Cuban-American community in Miami. He started slipping it naturally into scenes, especially during intense moments like the chainsaw deal. Director Brian De Palma heard it, loved it, and told him to keep using it. He didn't just speak like Tony, he lived like him, soaking in every detail to make it real. But in one explosive moment, the role got a little too real. That scene in Scarface, Tony Montana with his M16, blasting enemies while screaming,
Say hello to my little friend!
is one of the most legendary in movie history. But behind the camera, it came with real pain. During the shootout, Al Pacino grabbed the barrel of his rifle right after firing it. The gun was packed with blanks, but blanks still generate real heat. The metal scorched his hand instantly. The burn was so bad that it halted production for over a week. Pacino couldn't hold anything, let alone a gun. The crew had to rearrange the schedule and shoot around him while he healed. Pacino left skin on the battlefield, literally. And right in the middle of all that chaos, a Hollywood legend quietly stepped behind the camera. Here's a Hollywood surprise you probably didn't see coming. Steven Spielberg quietly directed a shot in Scarface. Spielberg wasn't officially part of the project. He was just visiting the set one day, dropping in as a friend of director Brian De Palma. But when he arrived during the filming, the energy was electric. Guns, explosions, chaos. It was the kind of sequence any director would kill to play with. So De Palma gave him a chance. Spielberg helped block and stage one of the action shots. Spielberg slipped in, made his mark, and disappeared. Someone else did the same, except she never came back. One of the strangest real-life mysteries tied to Scarface involves actress Tammy Lynn Leppard. She appears briefly in the movie as a bikini-clad woman.
Oh, look at that. Hey, yo!
But shortly after filming, she vanished and was never seen again. Tammy was a beauty queen and rising star, only 18 years old when she filmed her scene. According to friends and family, she became increasingly paranoid after her time on set. She claimed someone was trying to kill her and refused to eat food she hadn't prepared herself. On July 6, 1983, just months after filming, Tammy reportedly got into a car with a friend and never came home. Despite investigations, no body has ever been found. Her disappearance remains unsolved to this day. They weren't just scenes. They became legend, from the blood-soaked motel to
Say hello to my little friend!
Scarface didn't just shock audiences, it rewrote the rules. And those were 10 weird Scarface facts you probably never knew. Want more wild stories from behind the camera? Click on the screen. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.